Hi guys! So this video is going to talk about your first assignment, Chapter 8, Lesson 1, the workbook activity and the plain activity as well. Both are going to be due next Tuesday, April 7th by 11:59 p.m. So we're just going to work through the example problem that it has, and then I'm also going to do the first one on your workbook activity. So we get a couple. Feel free to rewind this video again if you have questions. Also, please make sure that you're asking me questions via Google Classroom, texting me, emailing me, whatever. That way I make sure that you know what is going on. Okay, so workbook activity, Chapter 8, Lesson 1. It's called Using Map Scales. Now, both of you are going to be asking me, why do we need to do this? Because you have your iPhone to tell you where you're going to be going. It's really good in case the internet goes out, you're stuck in the middle of nowhere, and all you have is an actual physical map. So basically, this is going to tell you how to take the scale and figure out how far you actually have to go. So, in the example, it says, Mercedes is planning a road trip from Baltimore to Chicago. On the map, the two cities are 4 1/16 inch apart. The map is drawn on a scale so that 11/16 inches equals 100 miles. Estimate the distance between these two cities. So the first step we're going to do, like it says on your worksheet, is write the map scale proportion. So 100 miles is 11/16. So it's going to look like this. Over 100, see that? Equals 4 1/16 equals over your distance, I can't say that word today, Baltimore to Chicago. Okay, there's your proportion. Step number 1. Step 2 is to solve your proportion. So you're going to cross these. So step 2 down here is going to be 100 times, because we're going to cross, 4 1/16 divided by 11/16. That's the first part. You need to turn this into a total fraction. So take the denominator of 16 times 4. Use your calculator. That's 64 plus 1 is going to get you 65 over 16. Still times 100 divided by 11/16. Okay? Hold on for a second. I'm going to move this fraction up to the top. Actually, I'm going to move over here. So you're going to rewrite it up at the top of your paper unless you're redoing it. And unless you have enough room, I'm going to move it over here. So we have 100 times 65 over 16 divided by 11/16. Now to make this all multiplication, when you have a fraction, you flip these two numbers. So instead of divided by 11/16, you're going to have 100 times 65/16 times, watch this, 16 over 11. Okay? those two cancel out for you. So your new one is 100 times 65. Since that's on the bottom, you'll move it back to the top and you'll divide it. Since it's moving back up, you have to switch this sign as well. Divided by 100. Your final answer is 591 miles. Okay? That's the example problem. Now give me a second. In about 2 seconds. On your end, it'll be a lot more longer on mine. Okay, same principle, new problem. I'm gonna actually work number 1 on the workbook activity here. It gives you the scale. The directions say find the estimated distance between the following cities using the map scale of 11/16 inch equals 100 miles. So again, up here at the top, first step, 11/16 over 100. We are trying to find the distance between Portland, Maine, and Portland, Oregon. It says the distance on the map is 16 5/8 inches. So that equals 100, so you put your equal, and they gave us the distance on the map of 16 5/8 equals your distance to ME to OR. Okay? So, step 1 again. You're going to get this all out on one sheet, on one line. So you're going to take 100 times 16 5/8 divided by 11/16. Step 1. Okay. Then you're going to turn this all into one fraction. So 16 times 8 is 128 plus 5, here I'll times plus. So 128 plus 5 is what? 133? Go. So you have 133 over 8 times 100 divided by 11/16. Okay, next step. You've got to turn that into a multiplication sign right here. So you're going to do 100 times 133 over 8. Ooh, that's a bad 8. Times 16 over 11. How many times does 8 go into 16? Twice. So 133 over 1 is 133. So I'm going to move it all up here. You're still working on it. 100 times 133. You're going to flip it back to a division. So you have divided by 11 halves, which in your calculator, if you're using one of these, is going to be equivalent to 5.5. So you're gonna take, in your calculator, 100 times 133, which gives you 13,300. Okay, we're not done. So you're gonna take 13,300 divided by 5.5, which is equivalent to 11 halves. And you're going to get 2,418. Now there's a decimal spot. I just want you to the nearest whole number. So in this equation it says 2,418 miles, 0.18. The 1, you leave it as is. So your answer is going to be 2,418. That's it. And you should be set to go. Now on your activity, you have to do it again, but you have to do it a lot more. I recommend getting a scratch piece of paper to work it out. Again, if you have questions, please contact me before April 7th. So that way we can work through it together. We can set up a Zoom meeting, FaceTime, whatever. I want you to be successful. I know you guys are capable of doing this. So we will see you next time.